Hey guys, welcome back to another World of Tanks video. Today I will be discussing a very commonly discussed topic. Should you research the T-62A or the Object 140 first from your T-54? Personally, I believe you should research the T-62A first. My reason for that would be that the 62A is the better tank, in my opinion. Now let me defend it. The T-62A gets probably one of the best turrets in the game. This turret can only be penned through extremely lucky cupola shots here, which are incredibly rare, and heat rounds through the front by the cheeks, which are still fairly difficult to go through, even with heat rounds, high pen heat rounds. The downside of having the 62A is you lose that one extra degree of gun depression, as well as your upper plate is less angled, as we can see here. So what does this mean about the 140? It gets that extra degree of gun depression, and the frontal armor sloped better. So what's the downside of the 140? Well, as I was saying, the 62A has a very, very strong turret, probably one of the strongest in the game. The Object 140, its turret is good at best, but it is not nearly on the same caliber as the 62A's turret. The reason for this is that the front of the turret is pretty much the same problem. Heat rounds can go through it, which isn't that big of a deal. I could live with that. But it's this little circle bit on the top. If you see, it looks like they just welded something on there. And this little spot, I'm pretty sure, is like 30 millimeters of armor. So anything really can overmatch this little roof spot. So if you just take a random snapshot at a 140 and it hits this overmatch spot, you're gonna get penned. This is the major downside of the 140 for its turret. The other downside of its turret is it has double the cupolas, and also they're more prominent cupolas. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, the 140 has a good turret. The weak spots are small, but they are there, and the 62A has a much more reliable turret. My next point would be that the 140 does have better side armor, actually. If you look here, you can see that the 140 kind of has this slant, which increases the effective angle when you side scrape, because it's not so flat anymore, so it has to go through another axis of angling. It's not that huge of a deal, but it's better at side scraping than the 62A is with its flat side. The 140 also has the problem, and this is my big gripe with it, is that the module health on the tank is really bad. The fuel tanks can be hit from the front, which means that this vehicle can be lit on fire frontally, and the fuel tanks get hit quite often, and fires happen quite often, to the point that if I were to run rations, I would not skip out on a fire extinguisher. I would skip out on a small first aid kit, because it is that big of a deal, in my opinion. Not only that, but the ammo rack seems to get hit all the time. But then again, I do not have a safe stowage yet, as my 62A does. So that could just be that, but I don't think so. Because even the 62A gets ammo racked from time to time. I'm pretty sure every tank gets ammo racked from time to time. Can't really do much about it. It's just that the 140 gets ammo racked so often, and compared to my other tanks without safe stowage, like the T-57 Heavy or the E50M and stuff like that, it just gets ammo racked all the time. And that's my huge issue with it, is that it catches on fire and it's ammo racked all the time. It seems like, for me at least, almost every other game I'm getting lit on fire or ammo racked. So, in conclusion, do I think that the 140 is a bad tank? No, of course not. It's a fantastic vehicle. It's just I think the 62A is better. Now, is the 62A the best Russian medium? Again, I would say no. I don't have one, but I think the Object 907 is probably the best Russian medium, as it gets more DPM than both of these vehicles, has a low 5-second reload. It has a pretty good turret, if I remember correctly, and the frontal armor can also be kinda trolly because of the angle. Not to mention the side armor has a lot of spaced spots, so you can bounce some shots there. I could be completely wrong here, however, because I don't have a 907. I haven't done much research on them. But from what I've learned from playing them, is that a 907 is just a better 140. There's not really a point to playing a 140 when you can play a 907. That's what I've heard from many good players. So in conclusion, again, I guess, if you are on the T-54 currently, and you have the option of going for the T-62A or the 140, let's say you have both guns researched, even though the gun that leads to the 140 is better, I would go for the 62A first, and then come back for the 140. They're both great vehicles, and you're getting a 2 tier 10s out of 1 tier 9, which is great. But I would get the 62A first, as I think it is the better vehicle. Oh, I did forget to go over the extra degree of gun depression, kinda, on the 140, and also that it goes 5 kilometers faster. A lot of people like to think that it's more flexible because of that. The speed, I will agree, the 62A is not the fastest vehicle, but 5 kilometers per hour difference, which is only a 10% bonus to the 62A speed, that is not a huge number. And the 62A, I would much rather have a reliable turret with a good module health and arguably better gun handling, because it is more accurate with a faster aim time, than to have a faster vehicle with an extra 1 degree of gun depression, which can make a difference sometimes, but not always. Just again, so I don't get massive amounts of flaming in the comments, even though it probably will happen, because it's a 140 versus 62A debate. Both of these are fantastic vehicles. The 140 I'm actually currently trying to get a second mark on, or at least just play it more because I want to. Not doing too great, but after, I think it was like 10 battles or something, I got it up a couple %. But I'm also trying to get an ace tanker on it, so yeah, I might be biased. I probably am. This is my first tier 10, my first tier 10 with 2 marks. This is my second tier 10 if I'm right, but that's my opinion. Everyone's entitled to your own. If you want to contribute to the conversation in the comments, go for it. This is just what I tell everyone about the 62A and the 140. I just really do not like the module health on the 140. And the 62A has a better and more reliable turret. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Like I said, contribute to the conversation below. Comment, give me your opinion. I read every single comment that I get on these videos. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.